my Common Sense Living podcast, a journey of conversations and stories that will surely inspire you. But first, a big shout out to one of my sponsors, Taming Diabetes Differently. It's a 2-month coaching program designed for you to take charge of your health. Join me in helping you to whip those blood sugar numbers into a healthy range. I invite you to email me, AnnaLeeMaster, at tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com or AnnaLeeMaster@yahoo.com. So are you ready? Grab your favorite beverage, sit back, take some notes, and let's dive into another thought-provoking episode. I'm your host, AnnaLeeMaster. Let's get started. Today, I have a special guest, Jill Lublin. I met her when I had won a contest and I got to take some of her training. Oh, I can't say enough on how wonderful. She doesn't have to brag about herself because I can do it for her. She inspired me, and it's like I bloomed after having the sessions. I forget, I think it was about a week long or something. And I think it really impacted me about imposter syndrome. And after that, I'm now going to be a keynote speaker, and I'm starting a Break Free Summit in San Antonio in February, and just rocking my life, and I love it. And I owe so much of it to Jill Lublin. So, Jill, welcome. And what can you share with us today?
Oh, thank you, Anne. You inspire me, and such a blessing to have you say those words, because that is why I do my publicity work, so that people like you are out in the world doing great things and helping others. And I know you're so good at what you do regarding diabetes. And I'm so glad I inspired you. And, you know, the thing I want to inspire everybody to is to take your gift out into the world, to have a way that each of you can shine your gifts, your light, and be really, you know, a major contributor, a blessing, as I like to call it, to others, and get your expertise out there. And so as a publicity expert, that's obviously what I do. And I actually wrote the book on it called Guerrilla Publicity. And then I run conscious kindness circles every single month where we come together in kindness and help each other do great business together.
Yeah. Oh, so what would you like to enlighten us with today? What advice would you give us startups?
Well, you know, the thing I know, having worked with, gosh, a lot of people over many years in different industries, is that the message is where you need to start and what matters. In other words, you got to get aligned with your message, be appropriate with how to speak it, and know that you solve problems in the marketplace, and that you're the expert who does that. Like, Anne, you're solving and taming diabetes, right? And we know that this is a big problem in the world today. So same thing with many of you who are watching this. You have something you do where you help others with the problems out there. And that's really where I want you all to start, to focus, to go, oh, here's the problem today. Start with that question. And don't think, here's what I do. It's like, what's the problem out there? And then give I'll say it, the golden nuggets for what people can do to solve that. Like, what would you recommend? You know, and in your case, okay, here are the 3 top things. And I know you've worked on this in my Media Mastery Intensive. You know, what are the top 3 things that you would tell people to do to curb their diabetes, to tame their diabetes? I would tell people, what are 3 great things you can do to start getting publicity right now, you know? And so this is the kind of thing you want to focus on. What's the problem? And then give 3 solutions. That is a great place for all of you to start. And I think a really good one in the area of publicity. The other thing I want to, if I may, drop in here is a great tactic about Google Alerts. You know, Google Alerts will show you who's talking about what in the media. And so I want you to go and put your name in Google Alerts. And that way, when you get an interview, you will know. That's important. And then I also want you to put like one word. Like in Anne's case, it would be diabetes. In my case, it would be publicity. Also, in my case, it was kindness, right? Because when the Prophet of Kindness came out, I put in the word kindness into Google Alerts. Hey, guess what happened? I found out that November 13th is World Kindness Day. And do you know what? Every single year, I orient a publicity campaign focus to World Kindness Day to be an expert in that. Why? Because I wrote The Profit of Kindness and I run kindness circles every month. So I'm an expert and can speak on this. Well, guess what? This year alone, I've been doing this for 4 years consistently because it's important. Pay attention that to be successful in publicity, you need to be persistent and consistent. And so this year alone, I got on Fox News in Dallas and Fox News in the Bay Area. Big shows. I mean, they were like 4 minutes, which is about right for a big show on the news, talking about, guess what? Kindness. That from that kind of consistency. And by the way, Dallas Fox News is one of the top 3 in the markets in the United States.
Wow.
In Dallas, right? Now, by the way, I didn't have to go anywhere. I just went on Zoom. Isn't
That's handy.
That's the power of publicity.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, so much can happen when you say yes, isn't it? You know, you can think about something and sometimes you have to take action now because the moment is gone and somebody else filled the spot that you could have had or whatever. So, I understand the fear, the disbelief we have in ourselves. I think we all struggle with that at one time or another. You have, but now you overcome that. But we all have, and that's part of what I want to do with my summit is I showed you earlier. It's like all the chains that bind us. So, break free from those chains. And you have a dream, go for it because you have the dream for a reason. God put that dream in your mind, whoever your belief is, put that in your mind for you. It's as a gift. So use it or you're going to lose it. And said yes. I said yes to so many different things. And I really feel because of the training I had with you, I burst out of my bubble. I broke my chains. That's why I'm going to be a keynote speaker and I'm going to have my own podcast. I have my own podcast. I'm going to have my own Break Free Summit because I broke free, but I didn't break free until I was 71. And that was with a simple yes to a question. I had an opportunity. I had an opportunity and I said yes.
Yes. And I'm so thrilled that you did that. And, to me, there's sometimes it isn't age dependent and we all come into our glory at different times in different seasons. And I think it's a beautiful thing no matter what. Listen, a woman in my mastermind, she's 84 and it's incredible to hear of her accomplishments and now, a different direction she's going. And it's just what I know about the people, at least that I attract and that I get the wonderful opportunity to work with is that people are in different phases and different times. And part of it is a bit of a, what would I call it, kind of a speed up to get to wherever you need by having publicity elevate you so that you are a trusted expert in your arena and you're known and seen and heard. And wow, people can go, I've heard of you somewhere. That's the power of publicity. I like to say it's really a gift that keeps on giving. And it allows you to reach one to many, which is always why I'm so excited about it. And I see the power of it and get told by my clients again and again what's happening as the results of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I want to address this, I'll call it fear of kind of coming out or, gosh, am I good enough? And by the way, yes, I have it. I know it. I understand it. I've been it. I do it. Occasionally it hits me again. I think it's a very human thing to be a bit afraid. And, the truth is most of you watching or you wouldn't have the talent you have, the dreams you have, like Ann said, the idea you might have whether it's a sparkle in your eye or just a glint, or something that's whispering aloud to you. And in fact, my conscious kindness circles, got started by one of those whispers that was like, you ought to do these kindness circles. It was really a guidance to me. And my book had come out, The Profit of Kindness. I was busy promoting it. I was busy helping people in the area of publicity through my other, work that I do mostly. And it just kind of kept coming. And one day I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And guess what? People showed up online. And here we are 4 years later with a wonderful gathering every month. Last month I had Jack Canfield. I don't know if you got to come on
I've
in.
heard of it. Yeah.
Yes, but it was, it was wonderful. And I think this is a piece of just following what it is that you're meant to do. And by the way, it took me a while to put the kindness circles together because I was busy promoting the book, The Profit of Kindness, and that's okay. I mean, I think different things come in different times. Sometimes
Right.
they hit the ground running. Sometimes we fall on our face. But the point is, you got to just keep trying, right? And one thing I know about being afraid, for me, okay, sometimes I've noticed if I'm a little afraid to work with someone or they kind of, there's a breathlessness or maybe even they push some buttons, that's probably a person I need to work with because
Mm,
there's something there to learn, to grow, to expand. That's for
mhm,
me how often I choose who I work with.
mhm.
And don't think I'm not afraid. I mean, yeah, I've been blessed to reach a certain degree of success, but it is about climbing new mountains all the time, acquiring new talents and gifts, being trained. I know but I stay very focused with mentors and coaches. Just like I am a coach for many, I also have mine. And I think that's really important to make sure that you have mentors in your life, people who are going to hold your hand in the places where you're not so good, right? And
Right.
I spent a session with a person yesterday who was like, I'm really afraid to go on a podcast. Tell me what to say and how to say it in what order. And we
Mm,
walked through it together. So I think when you have a mentor for a journey who's clear, who can help you, it makes a big difference.
yeah. Are you or someone you know dealing with blood sugar issues like diabetes? You can lower, even reverse these issues. I lowered my A1C from 5.9 to 4.9 in just 6 weeks. My doctor was impressed. I'm a nurse, certified health coach, and educator. Gift yourself or another with this course, Taming Diabetes Differently. Change your life and theirs. Contact Annalie Master at tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com or call 972-948-9976 and be sure to leave a message. Yeah, it does. I have people that I lean on for a tidbit here or there, or whatever. And you said something initially about fear, which caused me to think fear is really like a stepping stone. Here you've made a step and you're thinking about, oh, and the fear comes in to hold you back. If you're going to listen to the fear, I have a cat that he's locked in my room here. I didn't realize. It can hold you back, or you can counter that fear, kick it aside, and take that step up. So it's kind of like, how bad do you want to go up that next step? You going to let fear hold you back, or are you going to do what's in your heart to do?
And sometimes you can stay on the step for a while and that's
Yeah.
fine. Enjoy the view, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, listen, in my own career, there are times when I felt like fallow a little bit, like, fallow's like when the garden is getting ready for planting, but there's
Mm,
nothing really growing. And I think, that's human too. There are times when we are meant to be fallow,
yeah.
when we are meant to rest and maybe not be growing new things. That's fine. I do think different seasons happen in different times. And, having again worked with a very wide age range of wonderful people, particularly, by the way, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, still accomplishing so much in their life.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, we are a big arc of wonderful abilities, and there are different things that get birthed, that we give birth to in different times.
Right. And that lady you said that's in her 80s, I think that's just awesome. She could have got a rocking chair and, just rocked her life away, but instead, all the being a woman older than me, you know, she's had her adversity all through her life, but now she's able to go after and chase some of those dreams that she wanted. She's
Yes.
not too old. I mean, I
No,
know people younger than me that they're too old to do this or that. And oh no, you're limiting yourself, you know?
that's true, unfortunately. And it's whatever you think, right? But the truth is there's lots of opportunities, and especially in today's world where people are really youthing. They're not getting older. So many are youthing. And I think it's a wonderful time to really explore and go out and do whatever makes your heart sing, and also helps others, gives service to others, and frankly makes a difference in whatever way you can.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise if you're doing that, you're going to succeed. And realistically, if you're a little afraid, that's why people like me exist, and others who are gifted at supporting you in your own journey. And sometimes I'll have a client that I might send to a particular person who maybe can help them with mindset issues around feeling better about themselves. But what's most important is taking the one step in front of the other, the baby steps in whatever direction you can go, but most importantly, keep moving forward. That makes a difference.
Because when I was offered the opportunity of speaking, and I was 71, and I thought, I don't know, too much money, and I can't speak. Well, what good is money in the bank if you don't do something for good? So I'm going to
Yeah.
learn. I might teach others, and I took a chance, and I blew it. I didn't know what I was doing. I froze on stage. But did I give up? No, because I don't know, call it my inner being, whatever, that I stumbled. I stumbled. Blackie, please be quiet. Yeah, excuse me, everybody. I gotta go let the cat out. Not the dog, the cat. Okay. Okay, go on now. Apologies. I
Well,
usually
we
have
get a
about
gorgeous view. We get a gorgeous view while you're gone. And
yeah. Yeah, it makes me think of Hanama Bay in Hawaii. That was
beautiful.
beautiful. I have fond memories of that place. So what else that you haven't covered that you can give us a nugget or two on? Anything?
So I think,
You've got lots, I'm sure.
yeah, and I know we're going to wrap up in just a minute, but the truth is, it's really about saying yes. I want to go back to that because I think life is full of opportunities and
Mm,
possibilities, and going to a direction that supports who you are and who you want to become. And I think if you just keep that sort of North Star, right, and
mm,
keep looking at that, like, okay, what's the next step for me? What's one thing I can do to move toward my dream? And I know for me, that's been a good, success tip in my pocket is what's the one thing I can do today to make a difference?
yeah.
To move toward my dream. And then, of course, I have this what's one act of conscious kindness I can do every single day. So that's always present for me. And it's a question that I ask myself. And then I tell others to, for all of you, practice a conscious act of kindness every single day and watch your life change. But also with regard to your dreams, with regard to getting out your projects, with regard to publicity, also that baby step every single day will move you closer to that visibility possibility of taking your work out there in a different and more wonderful way, where with publicity you can reach that one to many. Meaning your
Mhm.
message reaches many so much easier than you having to do all that work. That's why I love it. It actually makes life a lot easier. Um,
Yeah. And
yes, yes.
I think about what I've done since I accepted doing things, got out of my drudgery here. And like they had this contest called Fab Over 40. And I entered it. What the heck? I entered it. And I laughed and I told my husband, I said, oh, I made the top 20. Oh, I made the top 15. I made the top 10. Oh my God, what am I going to do if I win? I made the top 5.
Oh my
Look,
God.
I didn't make the top, but it was the journey. It was something I didn't think. I'm 70, 75, not 75, 74 yet. How little old me, but hey, let's just jump out there and see. And I competed. I was happy that I competed. It was so
Congratulations.
fun. Yeah.
Yes, I think that really is the key, is say yes to yourself, say yes to new opportunities, take a step that, who was it? Eleanor Roosevelt, she has a great quote about fear. Go look up her quote. I can't quite remember right now for all of you, but she has a great quote about fear. And I just want you all to know, having worked with all kinds of people, both famous and extraordinary, ordinary, fabulous people, is everybody's got this.
Right.
And I think that it's again, very human piece. And the piece also is, it's the old, a little bit, do it anyway. And if you're frozen in a moment, then okay, stay frozen, but know that even frozen melts. And, get some help, frankly. Reach out to the people will cheerlead you on.
Right.
And, make sure to have people like that in your life. Get around professionals, be around people who are making stuff happen, and model them. You don't have to reinvent the wheels. The truth is, there are great models out there. Follow good models, whoever you follow, and watch, that wheel keep turning, because people probably did it before. So you don't always have to reinvent that wheel. So that's what I want to leave you with, and to know for each of you that your message matters. And I want you to know that. I also, if I may I give them a free gift?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So what I did, obviously we haven't had as much time to go through all the publicity. So I created an action guide for all of you. It's filled with great publicity tips that you can use immediately, and really implement fast. And then I gave you a free publicity masterclass, which gives you the opportunity to come on live with me on Zoom, ask me any questions you need, and really get your publicity questions answered. So you can find that at jilllublin.com/guide. That'll be helpful for you.
Because I was just going to ask you then, how can people get a hold of you? But that's a good start. So
perfect. It's a great start.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jill, for coming on. I certainly enjoyed reconnecting with you and sharing a tidbit about how you helped me, and therefore how you can help so many others. I'm thrilled that I met you. And yeah. Any last words?
No, it's wonderful, and to be here with you. And thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, well then, thank you. And thank you to everybody for having listened to today's episode. I know you enjoyed it and learned something new, because I learned something new too. So please leave a kind review and share it with a friend, and please subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend. And be sure to subscribe yourself. You'll find me on iTunes, Spotify, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next week with another insightful episode of Common Sense Living. I can hardly wait.